Okay, part 2 of the segment with Brittany Mullen describing mental illness and disability. Alright, Brittany, so my first question to you today is going to be...
Wait. Before we start, I'm feeling a little bare. Oh, there it is, sorry.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, Brittany, before we begin, I want you to describe a little bit about how you're feeling today.
Today's not that bad. I'm waking up with a bit of a sense of humor, so, at least that's good.
Okay. Now, are you having any pains, aches?
Well, yes, I'm still in pain in my arms.
Describe your arm, what's going on with your arms?
This shoulder blade hurts, and I'm quite sure that I broke that.
Okay. And did we not take you to the hospital yesterday for that?
Yeah, but I didn't feel like staying with all the people there because I knew I was going to end up having a seizure and being there all night with no right answers again because I'm getting very sick of that. So we went home.
So you decided to go home and not get your arm fixed?
Yes.
And did you have a seizure in the hospital?
I can't recall. I think I did.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Yes, you had a seizure in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So, if I had made the decision and I was given the right to make you stay, do you think I would have made you stay?
Probably.
Why couldn't I make you stay?
Because I'm over the age of 18.
And so what does that mean for me as a mother?
You no longer have power of care.
But what would happen if I walked out of the hospital and left you there and they know that you're not able to care for yourself?
I would have had to have found my own way home.
Would they have helped you find your own way home?
No.
Yes, they would have helped you find your own way. One thing we do want to let a lot of people out there know that there are emergency cab fares, and this is why you can walk away from a hospital, but they will make sure that your daughter or child gets home safely. Unfortunately, when they get home safely, somebody better be there to care for them, because that's where the care stops. CCAC does get involved, and they do a lot of programs and add a lot of programs. One of the programs that you're in right now is the Vista Center. And 2 years ago, when we were trying to get you into a program like the Vista Center, it was called the Robin Easy Center. I want to talk a little bit about the Robin Easy Center today. When you were at the Robin Easy Center, you stayed there for 2 days. Do you recall that?
Somewhat.
And what happened over there that made it so that you can no longer stay?
That I cannot recall.
Was it
Probably
your decision?
because I left.
Pardon?
Probably because I left.
Yeah, you're correct. You didn't want to stay there, and because you were over the age of 22, you were able to sign yourself out. And that would be right. Now, what happened afterwards, when we had a meeting, they had discussed the possibility of Brittany's illness getting involved with the care of having her go forward with living a proper lifestyle and going through rehabilitation.
I probably refused to help.
And you would have refused to help anyways, which they knew. So we were waiting until Brittany could be diagnosed with some kind of illness to...
You need proper diagnosis before you can receive any help from the healthcare system properly.
That's right.
And I did not have the proper diagnosis at the time.
And because you were too ill and too sick and tired, there was no way of really helping you at that time. So therefore the Robin Easy Center had to send you on your way with, once again, not much support. Very little support. So going forward from that, now we have the Vista Center in your life. And what's happening with the Vista Center right now? What do you think about the Vista Center?
They're okay. My mom really enjoys the help they're giving me.
Okay.
So they must be good.
And what kind of help are they going to provide with you right now?
I can't recall.
Well, so far they're looking into some agencies that will help at least care for you in a sense of offering home care for staying with you at long periods of time, so caregivers can go out and do the things that they have to get done. They were going to be providing you with cleaning services, transportation, so we're waiting to hear from them. Now we want to go on to the next segment. Brittany, I just wanted to ask you, one thing that I have a lot of guilt over is that you smoke marijuana, and I smoke marijuana in the room with you. Describe what happened when I first started marijuana and how you recall us engaging in smoking together.
I found it actually helped strengthen our relationship because beforehand we just constantly fought.
And why did we constantly fight?
Because you wouldn't agree with me smoking marijuana and I wouldn't agree with you smoking marijuana. And I found that it wasn't quite fair that you would be at home smoking with your other daughter. And I was left here as someone who was treated as a sick patient when I no longer wanted that. And that's why.
So what happened here, we're going to describe a little bit about what happened. I was living with Brittany at the time. However, my other daughter needed me. And therefore, with several obvious considerations, we had to make a decision that was going to work for all of us. So therefore, I moved back into my home, and Brittany lived across the hall. And this down the hall, and this ended up being a serious situation that no one foreseen coming. And unfortunately, Brittany, what state of mind did this put you in? My selfishness of smoking marijuana and not wanting to smoke with you. What state of mind did you end up going into? Do you recall?
I don't find it was selfish of you, for one. I find it was a motherly decision in what you made, so I don't like you saying that. Because you were just trying to do what was best at the time and what you thought was best. But the state of mind I was put in was actually also from the doctors and the constant appointments and things not ending up doing any change, and as well not being able to take care of my son on my own. I ended up getting in a very depressed state and attempted to jump off my balcony.
And what happened after that?
I ended up going to the Royal Ottawa Hospital, and I actually met some very nice people.
Okay, actually you went to the Queensway Carleton Hospital, and they gave you a 72-hour watch.
Oh.
And what they had done going forward is they had fixed up your meds, things were going great, and Brittany was sent back home under the care of me with possible services that could not be provided at that time because Brittany did not qualify for several of the services. Now I'm going to give you some examples. We did have transportation for Brittany through one of the Queensway Resource Centers. However, going forward, they decided that Brittany did not have a disability, and therefore she did not qualify for it, so they canceled her transportation. This place would have been a great benefit for Brittany because they also provided everything that the Vista Center is trying to get for her right now, and this could have saved a lot of time and trouble in the long run. Vista Center is fantastic. We're very happy with them so far. However, the only issue I would say is there are a long waiting list for programs like this, and this once again causes parents to be struggling financially, physically, socially, in every possible way you could think of, which causes our loved ones to become highly depressed and guilty. Brittany, how did you feel at the time when you were talking to the doctors and nurses? What was one of your primary concerns that you had for yourself?
That I was going to go home and everything was going to turn back to the same way it was before.
And what happened?
Just as I was afraid of.
And if you were to look at the past and the guilt on your conscience, what are some of the things that you would say you had felt guilty about that we had to discuss?
I can't remember that far back.
No. Okay, well, we're going to go on to a little bit of a fun segment here because Brittany has a lot of very good doctors in her life, and she's had some past doctors that she's always liked to joke about because she wasn't too fond of them. It's just jokes. It's nothing, everybody has their own opinion of their physicians, and please do not take this as any offense to any doctors or in any way, shape, or form us saying that they had done any fault. As of right now. Going forward, Brittany, you want to tell us a little bit about some of the jokes? Let's start with Dr. Sitwell. What do you usually say when we mention Dr. Sitwell's name?
He didn't sit well with me at all.
Dr. Sitwell didn't sit well with you at all? And how about Dr. Copley?
Oh, he coped well with me.
He copes well with you? Okay, there was one day when you had to do a test. Do you recall?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that test?
I had to make a bowel movement and give it to the doctor.
And what did you say to the doctor when you were talking to him about what the procedure was?
Well, I said, well, I guess I come back the next day and just give the doctor shit.
Yes. Okay, and let's go to another one. What about the nurse that you had, the doctor that you had? He was a very nice looking doctor, and he had come up to do something to your finger. What happened then?
Well, he said, well, I'm going to have to give you a little poke. And I told him, well, you can poke me any day.
Okay, and let's go to one more. What happened when you were talking about the nurse when she said that she was giving you blood work and she kept having to prick you?
Well, I told her, well, I guess you get to be a real perk today.
Yeah, okay, that's really good. You have some really good poems. I'm just going to ask you on the fly. Sometimes you can just come up with them, and if you can, it's okay. We won't edit it, but we'll just be fun with it. So can you try and think of a poem? I'm going to give you a poem that I want you to think about. I want you to think of a poem of a butterfly and give us a little short form. Take a couple of seconds. Well, she's thinking very hard. It's going to be a good one. Can Brittany get us started now?
My nanny passed away, and now she's up there in the sky. She comes down in butterflies. She watches over us every day. As her wings they take way. She flights over the doors we're in, to peek on her daughter and her son. And when I'm sick, she comes by quick to make sure that I'm better. And in any cold times, she's always there to give me a sweater. I miss my nanny more than ever, but I know she's still around, because whenever I see the butterflies, I know Nanny's up there in the sky.
Very good. Thank you, Brittany. Okay, well, Brittany's probably getting tired. She usually takes her nap around this time. So, once again, we're having a great debate on mental illness, and I hope you will take part in this segment and enjoy us with a video of your own, or possibly just some ideas or suggestions or even opinions of how you feel about mental illness and this segment. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you again tomorrow, Brittany. And I just want to say, how do you want to end your segment on mental illness, Brittany?
Okay, well, it's kind of like the doctor's sister. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Nobody.
Well, I always had nobody who. Very good.
Doesn't that kind of remind you of the doctors?
Yes, some of them, not all of them.
A lot that I've seen.
Thank you, Brittany.